I've read a lot of 50 Shades of Grey. I abandoned it about halfway through because I got a little bit bored, to be honest. I didn't think it was that, and I didn't think it was that special. I mean, I'm not really into American literature anyway. I prefer British, so I felt it was quite dumbed down. And then I read some of the film reviews, which said this is appalling. Don't go and see it. And to be honest, I haven't bothered. But I've heard it's certainly from a viewpoint of someone that might be in the fetish industry. It's very tame and very, kind of vanilla. So it's not on my list to go and see. Yeah, vanilla is sort of, you get your raspberry ripple, your chocolate, your vanilla. Vanilla is sort of like run of the mill, very normal. And the thing about 50 Shades of Grey, I think it's just a modern take on the story of O. And the story of O is about a young lady, and she becomes a sex slave to her master, and all her different scenarios. She might be chained up for a day, and she might be used in this way and that way, but she's really into it and she loves it, and it's her story. And when I started reading 50 Shades of Grey, it seemed very much based on that, but just not as much of a pleasure to read, and certainly not as dark and interesting. I think there's been absolute 50 Shades of Grey fever. Everyone has gone wild. I remember when the first book came out, and that's when I started reading it on my Kindle. I was actually in Corfu with my parents at the time, and I was sat on the sun lounger, and this 50-year-old couple that were just staying across from us come up, and they were chatting. She went, "Oh, what are you reading on your Kindle then?" Oh, and I can't remember what I said now. She went, "Well, I'm reading that 50 Shades of Grey. It's really good, isn't it?" And I sort of did a bit of a double take, because being in the adult industry, I've always been very careful about what I talk about. And there's this normal 50-year-old housewife saying to me, 50 Shades of Grey, it's brilliant. And then that week, everyone was going on about it, continuously. And then obviously, when the film hit the cinemas, it went wild. And I think it's really changed the public perception. I think everyone wants to rush out to Ann Summers and buy whips and chains and have a go. You've probably seen the jokes on the internet with the little old grannies with their whips and chains going mad. So yeah, I think it's really affected Britain, because we're a very oppressed society anyway, I would say, sexually, and especially when it comes to anything kinky. So I think it's opened up a lot of doors, and it's opened people's minds a bit. So it's amazing what the impact of film has. But I think it can only be a good thing. Bring on the kink. Yeah, I've had a few clients ask me about 50 Shades of Grey. I had one calling himself Mr. Grey, and he wanted me to be submissive. And I said, "I don't do that, darling. I'm a mistress." So he said, "Well, I really want to see you." "Okay, how about I'm a sub?" And I'm like, "Good idea." So he come along, and I tied him up, and he took a spanking, and we did all the very, very mild stuff, because that's the thing with subs. They have all these big ideas, and, "Oh, I can do this, and I can do that." And then they turn up, and they're like, "Hello, mistress," and, "Oh, I don't want to do it." So yeah, you have to be quite gentle with them sometimes. So yeah, I've had quite a lot asking for various scenes. I think when people see things on TV or in the media, it can be very influential, and they want to copy, especially if it's glamorised and it seems sexy and exciting and glamorous. They think, if I do that, I'll be like that. I want to be sexy. I want to be cool. And I think people are just curious as well. People just want to try different things, especially sexually, because I think people get to a point where, "Oh, right, I've done this. I've done that. Oh, that looks interesting. I want to try that next." So it allows people to explore in their minds and gives them ideas for things they want to try, which can only be a good thing.